everyone, it's Julia. Today I'm going to show you how I take a pair of thrifted jeans and turn them into just these really fun bell bottoms. I did have these, or I did sell these at my summer shop at the flea market, and people really loved them, and all ages too. It really brought in the younger crowd, but I even sold them for people my age. So I thought I'd share with you how I do it. It's really simple and it doesn't take any special, free motion stitching or anything special. Except for possibly a sewing machine with an open arm. That does help. This particular pair of jeans that I'm working on today is just like I said, it's a thrifted pair of Levi's. It's a size 16. The first thing I do is I measure down approximately 9 inches from the crotch, and I'm just going to draw a line just with some chalk. I find it's best to start the bell bottom above your knee. It's just more comfortable, and they just seem to look nicer that way. If it starts at the knee, it just and then your knee bends, it just kind of gets in the way. So I'm going to measure down my 9 inches, and then I'm going to draw a line, and then I'm going to cut both of them at that point. I will be using this extra or keeping this extra piece for different projects, but I'm going to be measuring the length of this and using this is actually yardage. I did buy this at the thrift store. So every time I look for, I always look for fun yardages, and this is a t-shirt knit. But I love using skirts. So I'll thrift a skirt and use the bottom of the skirt for this next step, because it's already hemmed, and it's just, you can get all sorts of fun different, pieces. It doesn't have to be a knit either. I've used, ruffled skirts. Just you can use almost any kind of a skirt. But I am going to be using this piece, which is, like I said, yardage, and it's a t-shirt knit, so it's 60 inches wide, and I'm not going to use all of the width of it, but you use some because you want it to be, a belt on the bottom. I did take my 60-inch piece of knit and I folded it. And I'm just going to smooth that out. I'm going to lay the legs back on here. What I like to do is extend about 1.5 inches or 2 inches off from this side. And then I'm just going to measure all the way as wide as I can go down to the length. These were really long, so I think I am going to stop them pretty much right where this leg ends, but then I am going to be hemming this, so it's going to be a little bit shorter, but that's going to be just fine. I'm just going to take my little piece here now, and like I said, measure out about 1.5 inches away, and then all the way down to the bottom of the pants leg. I'm going to take these to my sewing machine now, and I'm going to stitch this seam on both of these. I do have my side seams. My next thing that I do is find the center, front, back, and the sides. So I'm just going to line this up. So this is in the middle, put a pin, and then do the same to this one. I'm going to put a pin in the side seams and the front and the back on the jeans as well. And notice how when you have your jeans laying flat, the front panel is narrower than the back panel. And I do put my side seam pin not really on the seam, but just where they naturally lay flat. Probably doesn't matter, a whole lot, but I just, it just seems to be more of the natural seam or side seam. And then just going to eyeball the front and the back. And then do the same to this side. I'm going to sew these right sides together. Just going to be placing the jean inside. I do want to sew this so that the t-shirt is up. I'm going to have to ease that t-shirt because or gather it because there is more fabric. We allowed about 1.5 inches on each side, so it'll be about, when I cut it, just to give it some gathers. And now I'm just going to match up and pin this into place. And you can see that I'm going to have some extra fabric there that I'll ease in. I'm also going to pin the other one the same way, and then I'll take you to my sewing machine and I'll show you how I'm going to stitch this. I'm going to slide this now around my open arm, starting at the seam or the side seam. And here's where I've got a little extra fabric. This particular pair of jeans does have a lot of stretch in it as well, but I do want to try to get just a few gathers in this. And it's onto my other leg. The last thing I want to add is a flower on these, and I'll show you what I'm going to use. This is a Sizzix Bigz Die. This is the number 659960. It may still be available. I've had this for about a year. Sometimes I wish Sizzix wouldn't discontinue their dies, but they do, and they always come out with new. But I'll link this down below if I can still find it. I've used it a lot. I just really like the shape of it. These are done now, and they just have a real, I could have probably put a few more gathers in them. I made to cut them the fabric a little bit bigger, but there is a little bit of gather. And this is the fabric I've chosen for the center of this little flower. So I've got just a piece of scrap that was left over that I'm going to, and I have this double, so there's 2 pieces. I'm going to put 2 flowers on this. I'm going to run this through my little machine here. And for the placement on these flowers, I have been putting them not in the middle, but just off to the side on the side of the jean. I'm going to put a couple pins in this. Then I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch this. And I think I'm going to use, I'm not sure if I'm going to use white thread. I sometimes like to use this camel color thread that the jeans are stitched in. I might use the camel color on this. I'm going to probably free motion stitch these flowers on, but these would be really cute hand stitched with just a running stitch. Could also really easily do that. I have my pants leg now again through my open arm. And I do have my feed dog strap, my free motion foot on, and I'm just going to outline this flower. One last thing I'm going to do is to iron up or press up about 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to hem these just with a zigzag stitch. I'm not going to double fold it. I think it's going to get too bulky. I'm just going to have my zigzag stitch go over the edge of it so it'll be secure. And then I'm going to share some pictures at the end for you. Thank you everybody who's joined me today. I hope you enjoyed this. I think it'd make a really nice, fun little Christmas gifts if you have anybody on your list that might like a boho look, grandkids or something. I think it'd be really cute on a little pair of jeans, a little pair of girls' jeans. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Bye for now.